All right, good morning and welcome to this training on Social Mako. As many of you know, I use Social Mako. I have a lot of social media accounts. For example, let me just briefly show you. Go my sidebar here, tricks like that. So, for example, at every one time, I have my personal profile running, the FX Elite team. I've got a group, International Home-Based Business. So I've got 5 or 6 Facebook accounts. I've got more than one Facebook profile that I use. So I've got another profile that I use as well as a backup. I've also got lots of Twitter accounts. I've got the Online Profits Guy. I've got Ray and Tracy Life. So I've got multiple Twitter accounts, multiple LinkedIn accounts, etc., etc. So you can imagine that if I had to post to all of these accounts individually, it will be an absolute nightmare in terms of management and in terms of time. And that's where Social Mako comes in. And many of you now bought the lifetime deal. You can add up to set 10 social accounts into Social Mako. So I'm going to log into Social Mako. When you log in, this is the screen that you're presented with. And to a new user, I think this can be quite confusing. The schedule screen. So we're going to ignore it for a minute. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add in your social accounts. So if we go to the account manager, what you do here is, the first thing you need to do within Social Mako is to add your social account. Now, a social account can be a Facebook page. So if you've got 3 Facebook pages, that counts as 3 accounts out of your 10 on the basic profile. A LinkedIn account is 1 account, an Instagram account is 1 account, etc., etc., etc. Okay. To add an account, ideally, you must be logged into that account somewhere. So, for example, on Facebook, if you want to add a Facebook page, you must be logged into your Facebook account because it wants to use the current account that you're logged into to see what pages you've got. So you see Facebook logged in. So I'm logged in. So I'm going to continue with Facebook. It wants my password. There we go. So now that I'm logged in, it can see all the pages in my Facebook account that are connected to my account. So as you can see, I've got a lot of pages. I've got about 60 pages that I use for different things. Okay. So, for example, if I wanted to add this page to my account, okay, I could click this and then go down to the bottom and click save or add account. All right. Now it may come up and say I've hit the limit, but we'll see. It's not the quickest thing, Social Mako. You do have to wait for it sometimes. And there you go. It says successful, and it's now counting down. So somewhere in my list of Facebook accounts, I will now have that account. So that's how you add accounts, okay? So the first thing you need to do is go and add all your social media accounts, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, Twitter, whatever, those are the things that you need to add in, all right? So once you've added those accounts, the next thing you want to do is you want to think about how you're going to post them. And there's 2 ways you can do that. You can either post to each account individually, or you can select which accounts you want to post to, or you can create a group and post to that group. So let's look at those 3 ways of posting. So the main button that I use in Social Mako is Publish All. So if we hit on Publish All, we've now got the ability to say, this is a post I want to post. I've now got some options here. I can add a link to it. So if I've got a link to a YouTube video or something that I want to promote. So if I had a YouTube video link, I can put that in there. And if I press the tab key, it will now go off and try and find that YouTube link and put it in here automatically. So that's how the links work. If you want to upload an image, you click the image and then just click upload. Get an image off your desktop. So there's the image. And what that will then do is it will add the image to your post. And as you can see over here, it's giving you a preview of what the post is going to look like. And, you know, you can put a link in here now and it won't affect it. So, you know, google.co.uk, whatever you want to do. So I've built my post. Now what I can do from all the list of my accounts, I can select which accounts I want to post this to. So I might say I want to post it to that one, that one, that one, and that one, just for example, okay? So now I've got some, so these are the accounts I'm going to post it to. This is the post. Now I've got some options about when I post that. So if I want to post that right away, all I do is I scroll down to the bottom and click post now. And that will immediately send that post out to my social profiles, okay? And that will go immediately, job done. Or I can click schedule. And if I click schedule and then click here, I can say, well, actually, I want this post to go on Monday at 13:15, okay? And then what that will do is it will schedule the post. So if I'm going to click done on that, and you now see this button is now changed to schedule post. So if I click schedule, okay, it says content successfully scheduled. How do I know that's scheduled? All right. Well, if I go over to here to schedules and click schedules, you'll see that I've got some posts scheduled. And if I look at the 13th and click on the 13th, I can't remember what day we did that on. Did we do the 13th? I can't remember. Maybe it was that one. Maybe it was that one. I don't know. Oh, there it is. It was the 10th. I apologise. So now we can see that my post is scheduled to go to Instagram, LinkedIn for Ray St. Clair, Instagram for the Profits Guy, LinkedIn for Ray and Tracy, and Twitter for Ray and Tracy. Okay, so that's my schedule, and this is when it's going to go. Now I can remove that, or I can edit the post, depending on what I want to do. Okay, so actually I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to delete that because I don't want this to go out. So using this, you can schedule lots of posts to go ahead of time if you want to do that. My wife also has an account with Social Mako. She runs a social media marketing business for clients, and she uses Social Mako to schedule loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of things for them. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so we'll go back here, and what I want to show you now is something that's a little bit of a time saver. Many of you will notice that I have the same text on a lot of my posts. So basically I will do a bit of a, you know, this is some text, and then what I'll do is I'll have the same sort of stuff all the time. And there's this lovely little thing in Social Mako called captions. So for example, if I'm sending a post out, I can simply click captions, and if I'm sending one for the Profits Guy, I can click this and it pre-populates, as you can see, it pre-populates the field with some text, okay? And then I can just put some text over the top of it, add an image, and away I go. Now, if I want to use an image that I have previously used, I can go to File Manager, and the File Manager will show me all the images that I've used previously. So if I wanted to post that image again, I'd simply tick it and click add, and there's the image in the post, okay? So it does store the images, okay? And that's now how I build the same text into every post. So let me just show you how I build those captions. If you go to here, caption, you can now create captions, and captions can be anything you want. So if I go to add new, I can create a caption saying social Mako training. Put the link in there for you, cfx.team, and then I can put some hashtags. You don't have to put the hyphen things, I just use them for spacing because it's nice. and I'll just put marketing training as a hashtag. Okay, so now if I update that and I go to make a post again, go over here. Now when I make my post, that caption is now available to me, and I can just click it and it will put it in, and I can add some text. Okay, so that allows me to save a bit of time. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, you saw earlier that I built a post. I'm just going to just rebuild a post and just nick an image from the file manager again. I'll just use, I'll use that one just for the sake of a demo. I'll put, you know, free portions for all. Okay. Over here, as you saw, I could select what individual accounts I wanted to send that particular post to. But think about this. If we had to, every time we wanted to send a post, select all the accounts that we want to send that particular post to, that would be not very time saving, in my view. It'd be quite tiresome. However, there's this nice little feature in Social Mako that allows you to create groups of accounts to send to, okay? So, for example, if I want to send this to all my Ray and Tracy accounts, I can click up here, and I've got a group here, for example, called Ray and Tracy plus IG. So this is my Ray and Tracy accounts, including my Instagram account. Okay, I named this just to give me a hint. So now, if I click that group, you will see that it automatically selects the correct social accounts for me to post this post to. So how did I get it to do that? How did I get it to know what social accounts I needed to post to within the group? Well, if you go over to here, there's this thing called Group Manager, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new group, and I'm going to call this XYZ Training, just for the heck of it, okay? I'll even spell training. So what I can do now is I can choose from all my social media accounts. I can choose which of those social media accounts are in this group. So for example, if I wanted that group to be in there, I simply click and hold and drag it over to that particular account. If I then wanted this one to be in that group, I drag that across. If I then wanted that one, the Twitter program, so I've now got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll leave it like that. So I've got 3 accounts in this group called XY Training. I'm going to save my group. Okay, there we go. And as we can see, we've now got a group called XYZ Training, and I can edit that group at any time by clicking it. And let's say I wanted to add or delete. If I wanted to delete something, I just pull it off there and put it back over here, and it will take it out. If I want to put it back in, I can do that. If I want to add another one, I can just drag and drop it. So you can edit the groups if you want to. Okay. Obviously, remember to save it. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to save. I don't want to do anything with that. So now, when I go to post, welcome to the new team members coming in. Welcome. We've nearly finished. Now, when I make my post, let me add my caption as I did before. So there we go. Put some text in, add an image from the file manager, or I can upload one from the desktop. We'll use that one just for the sake of argument. Okay, so there's my image. Now I can go to my groups here, and I can scroll down, and you can now see that I've got my group XYZ Training. Okay, so I select that, and as you can see, it automatically selects the correct groups because that's how I set the group up. Okay, so by using captions and by using groups inside Social Mako, you can quickly build some very slick looking social posts, and you can also then manage quite easily which accounts get sent to that. So for example, if I was sending this out to everything, all of my accounts that are for Cashfx, but I don't want it to go to Instagram, I simply click that group, and then there should be 6 accounts here now. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all the places that I want a Cashfx post to go to. Okay, so that's how you build posts in Social Mako. You saw there's a little button there called Save Caption. And what this allows you to do is you can actually create the caption here, and you can actually save it right from here. And it will save that as a caption. Okay, so now when I go there, you can see it saved that as a caption too. Okay, so really all I tend to use inside Social Mako is captions, groups, accounts. I don't really schedule too much myself. So I work from here. This is the main screen. I build my social posts. Now, one thing you have to remember is this. If I'm just going to sort of show you something. If I put a load of text in, this is a load of text, okay? And I'm just going to make that quite a lot of text, okay? And I'm going to put an image on it. And this is something you have to consider. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to select all, deselect. So if you want to deselect all accounts, if you select all and then do it again, it will deselect everything. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to find a Twitter account. That one will do. So I'm going to use my personal Twitter account. If I try and send this now, watch what happens. It says there, and 1 profile's unpublished. Okay, in other words, it's being published on no profiles, and it's unpublished. So what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? So how do I find that to fix it? Okay, I know it wasn't published because it told me. How do I find it to fix it? Well, I go to schedules and I go to unpublished, and there's my tweet, and you can see it says failure. Now, the reason it says failure is because Twitter has a character limit. I think it's 240 characters or 140 characters or something like that. So clearly, Twitter rejected it on the basis that there's too much text, okay? If I edit that now, and I take out half that, most of that text, okay? And now I say edit post, the edit post is successful. And if I go and look at that Twitter account and find it for me, there we go. It should post it. Okay, it may take a few minutes to post it, but it should post it. Okay, so that's how if something doesn't send, that's how you fix it. Okay, just go to schedules and unpublished, and it will be there, and it will say failure, and you fix it. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick recap, and then I'm going to move on to show you another little tool that I use. Okay, so remember, the first thing you need to do is to add your social media accounts in the account manager. Okay, and I think on the basic account you can have up to 10 accounts. So you can have a couple of Facebook pages, a LinkedIn, a Twitter, an Instagram, whatever you want. Okay, and then the second thing is to create some groups. So you might have, let's take Dave for example, who's on the call. Dave does entertainment as a business, so he might have a group of accounts for his entertainment business, so we could group those into one. And he had a group of accounts for his Cashfx business, and he could group those together. So he could create 2 groups, one for Cashfx, one for his entertainment business. Okay, so that's how you create groups. So you just create a new group and then select the accounts, the ones you've added them. Then to start posting, I click on the publish all up here, And, oh, sorry, let's talk about captions. The other thing you can do is create your captions. Okay, I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to delete. See, there's that delay thing. You just have sometimes to wait for this to do this little dance thing that it does here. There we go. So that's my captions. You can create captions here, or you can create captions inside the post by creating a piece of text and then hitting save caption. All right. So we scheduled posts. So when we create a post, you know, let's just put a post in with an image and select an image. We know how to upload an image. So we can either select an image that we've used before, or we can upload an image from the desktop or wherever you want to upload an image. I'm going to use one that I've used before because it's easier. I'll just use that one. Okay. We can put some text into our post. We can put links in there. We can do what we want. And to help you with the Twitter thing, it tells you here what your character account is. You know, so you know whether or not you're over the limit, so to speak. I'm actually going to go and grab a caption. One thing about grabbing captions, so at 262, I'm probably just at about the limit for Twitter. I can get about 2 lines in before my caption on Twitter. So if I went like this, I know that'd be about right for Twitter, okay? Which is why you'll notice that most of my posts are quite short. I keep them that way. Now I've got 2 options. I can either post now, or I can schedule this post to go out at a particular date and time, and click done, and that will then say schedule post, okay? If I want to amend that schedule or delete that from the schedule, I can click on schedule, and I need to go and find that now because I don't know when we did that. Let's have a look. I don't know when we did that. We did that okay. All right, I don't know where that went. Unpublished. Let's have a look. Yeah, there it is. Let's get rid of it. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, so we know now how to schedule, how to post now. We know about groups. We know how to select a group. Once we've created it, we just click this icon up here and we say, right, this is the group I want it to go to, and it will pre-select the groups. Okay, so fundamentally, that's all you need to know about Social Mako, okay, to get it to use it, to start using it. And I'm sure you'll find out things about it as you grow. I can't tell you how much time this thing saves me. You know, for the small cost that you bought it for, which is $49, which is a lifetime deal. Just to give you a tip, what I tend to do these days is if I'm looking for a piece of software, I type into Google the name of the piece of software and lifetime deal and search for that. And there's loads of companies out there doing lifetime deals now, where companies like Social Mako want to get a load of money in the door. They're still kind of building it. And you have to accept that it might be a little bit buggy from time to time, but generally this works quite well. But for, you know, for $49, but never have to pay a monthly, that's why I like LTDs, as they call them, lifetime deals. And I think it's very much the way forward. Lots more companies are getting on the LTD ball. Now, one more thing I want to show you is another piece of software that I use, which is free, okay? And I use this to build posts, okay? And that piece of software is called Canva, okay? You can sign up for a free Canva account. And the lovely thing about Canva is that it's almost as powerful as Photoshop, but not quite. But it's very, very easy to use, very quick to use. So for example, if I want to do an Instagram post, I can select Instagram post, or I can search for Instagram post in the search, okay? And you can see already, it's starting to give me loads of template ideas that I could potentially use to build a post, all right? So what I want to do is I want to give you a quick overview of how Canva works, just so that you guys have got an idea how you can start to put stuff together in Canva, okay? Because not every one of us is a graphic designer, and what Canva does is it just makes it a little bit easier for people who aren't graphic designers, okay? So you can either choose one of the existing templates, or you can choose a blank template. And the beautiful thing about using Canva, so for example, Instagram post, is that it's the correct size. It's the correct format and the correct size. If I went to sort of Facebook, for for example, if I wanted a cover for my Facebook page and I click on Facebook cover, these are all the correct sizes for a Facebook cover, okay? So it might be that I want to create a Facebook cover, and I can do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an Instagram post, because I actually use it most for Instagram more than anything else. So I'm going to go Instagram post. I'm going to create a blank one. So we'll start from scratch. And I'm just going to show you how the elements work. So the first thing you can do with Canva is you can drag and drop an image from your desktop. So I'm just going to drag the image that I used earlier. So you can just drag an image in and it will place it on your Instagram ad, okay? Now, you can do a number of things with this. While it's got the little handles on it, you can do a number of things. First thing you can do is you can rotate it, okay? And if you hold the shift key down, it tries to lock it into the vertical or the horizontal or whatever it is, okay? So you might, okay, want to rotate it. You can size it, okay? And you notice it sizes it equally. And how I size that is I click that little handle there and hold it down and drag, okay? And that sizes my post, okay? And you can crop it. So these little handles here will allow you to crop the image. So if you go bigger, it will crop it that way. Or if you go smaller, it will actually make it that way, okay? So I'm just gonna make sure I get it right on it. There we go, that's fine. Now, I can move the image around just by sort of moving it around, and that gives me total control over that image. The other thing you need to know is that if you stretch an image so that it covers the whole of the Instagram post, when you let go, that image becomes the background. And I can prove that because if I drag another image on from the library, you can now see that this is sitting over the top of it, okay? If I want to remove that as the background, I can detach the image from the background and you can see now it becomes a normal sized image again, okay? To delete anything, just select it and hit the backspace key and that will do that, okay? So once you've got an image in your library, you can drag and drop. In fact, what I might do is I might actually just make an image of one of my little top profits guide posts. So what I tend to do is I go and find on Google wallpaper, okay? So if I want a backdrop, I'll go and find wallpaper. So I might put in millionaire wallpaper. And what you'll find is lots of things come up, and then I click images and I click size large, okay? And it might be that I want to use that as my backdrop for my post. So I click on that. Now, because I'm working on a Mac, I can do something that most people can't. I can simply click that image and drag it to my desktop, which is one of the features of a Mac. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm now going to drag that image in, and I'm going to use it as my backdrop, okay? So I'm now going to make this the background image, okay? And I'm quite happy with that there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in, let's say I'm going to use a picture of me, okay? So I'm going to put a picture of me over the top, okay? I'm going to size that. Now, one thing I like to do, me, is I like to blur the background because at the moment you can see I kind of don't really stand out. So one of the things I like to do is blur the background. So if I click on the background, you can see it highlights it. And I do a couple of things. I can alter the transparency of the background by doing that, okay, which now starts to make me stand out a bit better. And I can also adjust the background. And what I can do is I can adjust the blur. And if I now put that on 3 and press enter, you can now see that blurs it. I don't think that's enough, so I'm going to go to 5. That's better. And I don't think it's actually transparent enough. There we go. So now you can see, although I've kept my background, I stand out a lot more. The other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to adjust the brightness and the contrast up a little bit on me, to make me pop a little bit, okay? So now you can see I really stand out in the picture, handsome devil that I am. So now I can actually add some text to that, okay? So if I click over here on text, I can do lots of things. I can add all sorts of text. I could add this text, for example, and now you can see it's put the text on. And I can alter the color of the glow by clicking the color thing here. And whatever color I select, you can now see that it changes to that color. I can actually specify the color exactly, either by a hex code or by altering the slider. Okay, I quite like that sort of neon purple sort of glow there. That's quite interesting. And I can also alter the size of it either by dragging it, or I can alter the font size by changing the font size here. But I can still drag it, it's no problem. If I want to size that back again, I can just do that with the crop handles and do that. So I can alter that now, and I can even type in there, I can change the word. So I can type in success by double clicking in there and putting that up there, okay? I can move me to the side a bit, and I can put that there. And I can now put some more text on, and I can say, I don't know, doesn't come easy. There we go. Now what I can do with that text, I can click on it, I can size it, I can rotate it to match the other text up there. Okay, I don't want it to go over my head, so I'll do that. Okay, and now I can alter the font, the typeface, and Canva gives you loads and loads of typefaces to choose from. So I might choose something like Horizon. Okay, and as you can see, it changes it, and I now want to change that down to 24. Okay, now you can also change the letter spacing by altering this. So if you go up here, you can alter the spacing between the letters if you want them to be tighter or whatever you want them to be. So I want that to be just a little bit tighter than it is. There we are. And again, I can alter the color of that text to whatever I want. Okay. And you can layer picture after picture behind. So for example, if I wanted to put Tracy behind me, my wife, I've got pictures of my wife in here. What I might do, for example, is I might actually make me a little bit smaller, push me to the side, put a picture of my wife on, make her a bit bigger, and sort of push me to the background sort of thing, okay? So you can begin to see, you can be quite creative with Canva, okay? You don't need to be, you know, we're not doing technical stuff here, it's not graphic design, we're just moving objects around and doing all that sort of thing, all right? So that just gives you an idea of how, you know, for example, if I wanted to put my manager badge on there, I can do that. I can put it up there. I can make it smaller. And then if I wanted to put a, you know, 15K pack on, I can put that on and then just push that over the top, you know. So you can make posts interesting. Now, another thing that you can do is if you want to make a fade, you've got all sorts of things in the library here, and I'm going to show you something actually quite special in a second. So for example, if I go to shapes and click see all, that's not what I want to do, get rid of that. If I go to recently used, because I use this quite a lot, there's this thing called a fade here, okay? And what you can do with this is you can set a fade across the whole image, okay? So I want that to be not so heavy, okay? But what I can do is I don't want this to apply to me or Tracy, for example. What I can do now is I can send it backwards, okay? And I can just keep doing that. Now, if you notice here, it says on the Apple Mac, Apple square brackets. So if I just use the Apple square brackets key, there you go. Now what I've done is I've made the background sort of more purple than it was, and I can sort of bring that up or down as I see fit, okay? So there we go. So that kind of gives it a nice sort of neon glow that I quite like, all right? So that's a nice thing. Now, one thing I want to show you is there's some nice little features in Canva. So one of the things, if you go to the elements and you click here, if you put in frames, watch this. This is quite interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that frame on there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a photo that I've uploaded. Sorry, uploads. So let's pick a photo of London that I've uploaded. If I drag it across onto the screen and drag it into that frame, look what it does. It puts it inside the graphic. Okay. So let's pick another one, and if you delete it, it leaves the frame. So for example, let's say I pick this one, I can put that one in there. Okay. I delete it, it puts me back to the frame. If I delete that again, it deletes the frame. So let me go back to and get a different frame. So for example, if I pull this frame on and then go back to my uploads and I put it on now, can you see what that does? It's quite a nice thing there. Okay, so you can be really, really creative with Canva. You can just let your imagination run wild. Okay, and I'm just showing you some basic things that Canva does here. So for example, one of the things that I do when I'm creating the packs is, if I go to elements, I use this circular frame, and then I might get, let's use let's use Ron's face. So what I can do with that is I can drag Ron's face into that, and that just gives me a circle. And that's actually quite nice, because in Photoshop to do that, to crop to a circle, it can be quite difficult, okay? Now, the other things that you can do, if, for example, if I want to always move these pieces of text as one object, I can group them, okay? And if I want, for example, this object to be aligned with Ron's object to the left, I can click one object, hold the shift key and click the other object. Now I've got the two objects, and I can position. So I can either position to the top or the left or the middle, whatever, and it will align those objects to whatever I suggest. So for example, if I want these two objects to align to each other, I can just click both of them, and let's say I want them to align to the left, boom, there you go. If I want them to align to the center, there you go. Very, 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 very easy. The other thing you can do with Canva is you can animate things. So for example, if I do this, what this will do is animate the whole thing for me, and then it will export it as a video, okay? I can do all sorts of things with this. So there we go, little animation, whatever you like. I tend not to use that too much. So, so if you want to get the animation off, just click none and it will take you back to where it was. You can put music over your thing. So for example, if you can just drag and drop a piece of music onto a post, and that means that when that post is shown, it'll be a video. When that post is shown, it will play the video. So you can animate and add music or text or whatever you like. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. You can even put videos on. There's a whole library of videos that you can put on. For example, if you want an animated background, you can, let's just get rid of that background there. You can even put on something like, you can even put on something like that and scale it to the background, okay? And now what we've got is an animated background that when we play it, and when it plays in the social media, whether it's Instagram or whatever, it will play as an animated background, okay? So that's quite a cool feature. There are lots of other backgrounds as well. You can use background colors, landscapes. There is so much in Canva. The free version gives you a lot, but the paid version, which is like £7 a month or something, I don't know, whatever it is, I pay for the paid version because it just gives you a lot more, a lot more. And I also create, there's a lot of folders that I create. You can create folders and keep things in folders. So for example, if I go to my home, I'm not going to save that. Well, Canva automatically saves things anyway. So I use folders a lot. So for example, for all the packs that I use to do the recognition, I've got them all stored in here and they're all ready to go. So for example, all I've got to do is change the name of somebody and change the face, and that's it. That's all I do. And then once you've got your graphic or video, whatever it is, ready to go, you can hit download up here, and I will hit JPEG. Now, if I animate this, it will download it as a video for me to share. Okay, so it's all high quality. It's sized correctly, and I just hit JPEG, download, boom, done, finished, and then I can upload that into Social Mako, or I can drag and drop that into WhatsApp or Messenger or anything like that. So I think I've spoken for enough. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to open the chat up for questions. So if you've got a question, just raise your hand. I'll open your microphone and you can ask me any question you like. I think we'll do questions for 5 or 6 minutes, and then I think we'll call it a day. I've recorded this, so I'll put this up somewhere where you can get access to it. I'm not going to edit it. It is what it is. It's as rough as it is. It's just to give you an idea of what we do. So, you know, today we've covered Social Mako and how to use that to post to multiple social media accounts at once. And we've also covered Canva and how you can use Canva to basically build any graphics you want. The amount of templates in Canva is just mind-boggling. You know, if you wanted to do a flyer, or you wanted to do an Instagram story, or some sort of social media, or presentations, it's endless, you know. And if you think about it, and this is how I always value it, because, you know, I know how long it takes to put this stuff together. For what you pay for these things, you know, and, you know, like every business, like whatever you do in life, you need to buy tools to do that job. For example, Dave's a singer, you know, and he earns money singing. So he's invested quite heavily in big PA systems, microphones, mixing desks, all that sort of stuff. A lot of money, okay, to go and earn money. So he's invested in his business. He's invested in some tools. You know, I've got developers and graphic designers work for me. We have to invest in computers and software. You know, I have the full Adobe suite on my computer, which costs me around 55 quid a month. But, you know, I use all of it. I use pretty much every program that Adobe, you know, I use Photoshop, Illustrator, Acrobat, InDesign, XD, Premiere, After Effects, Bridge, Lightroom. I use all of these programs. So, you know, these are tools that I use. And Social Mako is nice because you pay for it, you never pay for it again. Canva is one of those little tools like Calendly that we pay a little bit of monthly money for, okay? And I think it's either 10 quid or 7 quid, I can't remember. But what you get for that is huge. It saves you a lot of time having to think about how to design things. You know, you can do infographics in here. You know, so if you wanted to do an infographic, you could simply click a template. It gives you the infographic, and all you've got to do now is just, in fact, to be fair, that's actually got a bad infographic, you know. So becoming great on top traits of the, you know, all you got to do is just change the text and boom, you've got an infographic. You know, put your link in or whatever you want to do. So, you know, somebody's had to design this. Somebody's had to put this together at Canva. And that takes time and money. So I don't begrudge paying for good tools. I don't begrudge, you know, I don't sit there thinking, oh, it's £10 a month. I don't think like that. I think, how much time and energy is that 10 quid going to save me? How much time and energy is the money that I've paid for Social Mako going to save me? So I have a different mentality. These are just tools that I use. My wife loves Canva. She uses it all the time. I use Canva. We've got loads of friends that use Canva. Yes, you can get by on the free account, but you don't get a tenth of the stuff on the free account that you get on the, and I don't get paid for recommending you buy the damn thing. I'm just saying that you just get a lot more when you're a pro member, okay? There's no restrictions, etc., etc. It's fabulous. It's a really, really, really clever thing. And that's why it's become the world leader for what it does, because they give you so much. You could spend hours in here and never ever run out of design ideas. And sometimes, even though I'm a graphic designer, sometimes I'll come to Canva and go, yeah, I'm a bit stuck. I can't think of something. And I go, oh, yeah, that looks interesting. Let me let me go and play with that. You know, I don't have to stick with their design. I can change it, I can move it, I can change the background, I can do whatever I want. You know, I can put a filter on it, I can make it look more summery. You know, I can do what I like with it. It's there to be done. So there we are. If anyone's got any questions, I'm going to unmute the microphones if anyone wants to fire a question at me. If not,
hello everyone. Hey Ray. No, something's happened to the audio. Hello Ray.
Won't believe it. I was taken hostage by a supervillain.
I can imagine. Later, because